Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TCR Round 8 out of 12. We're 2/3 of the way through the season already. I don't know why I chose this song, but I'm really in the mood for this song today, so this is how we're going to start things out. Japanese Grand Prix, one of the fan favorite tracks, and it is one of the more difficult tracks. 18 corners, almost 6 kilometers in length, and you're on board with Seafreeze here, back on the grid tonight, along with 9 others. And like I said, we are 2/3 of the way through the season already. Time really flies when you're having fun. And time goes faster when you're talking by yourself. I am your host, Camden Luca, in the booth once again tonight, all by my lonesome self. But nonetheless, we are here for the Japanese Grand Prix. If you saw last week, you know that B-Tom expanded his championship lead to 1,000 points. Not quite, but B-Tom is now at 174 points after picking up his 5th win of the season in Imola. He has a 54-point lead over JNB. And with 5 races to go, I mean, at this point, he just has to do what he's got to do. Hang on strong these next 5 races, and this could be B-Tom's 7th championship. And we're going to go on board with him right here and see what he can do. And he's going to give us a tour around this very high-speed and technical Japanese Suzuka circuit. I'm curious if we'll get another broken record. As, off in the grass right there goes B-Tom, and I think he might back it down here and wait for another lap. So, already a mistake. That is what not to do in Sector 1. Seafreeze approaching the Casio Triangle of turns 16, 17, and 18. Beautifully executed there as he comes to the finish line. DRS open with a 129.9. And Seafreeze, I hate to tell you this, but you are 4 seconds off the TCR qualifying lap record, and I don't know if that's going to get beat, because that lap back in Season 10 was set by Carusi. And if you've raced against Carusi, if you know who he is, you know that he is one fast driver. And Charles going to provisional pole, a 28.6, I think that's a more realistic banker lap. And, you know, we'll see where Seafreeze ends up as well. First lap shouldn't be your best lap unless if you're God. And even then, that's just not how the world works, you know. You really, it's very, very rare that your first lap is your best lap, and B-Tom just proved it right there with a 32.6, but like I said, I think he's going to give it another go here, so we're going to ride on board with him as he makes his way through this right-hander of turns 1 and 2. Gets out on those curves, not too far to the left of the curves, but just enough there on corner exit. And now this really technical S section. It's like you're on a surfboard, you know? You have to really balance the car between those corners. As Jose puts up a 28.1, looking for 3 podiums in a row, question mark? We'll see if he can take that number 69 to a 3rd straight podium. As speaking of number 69, are they both? Yeah, they're both number 69. As we have 2 number 69s in the top 3 with GTR Lion at 29.5. Mahmoud, 32.7. I'm sure that's not the fastest lap that we'll see from Mahmoud today. Same with B-Tom, as he is a second up on his previous lap, and I would have expected more, considering how bad he screwed up the first sector. But nonetheless, let's see what the championship leader can do. Trying to get 50 wins before the season is over. And he goes into the 27s with a 27.9. Much better than that first lap. Like I said, B-Tom, 5 wins on the season, 46 wins. He could get 50 if he goes on a Herculean-type run here at the end of the season. But we'll see, because he has competition from that guy right there. JNB looking for redemption from last week. Why, 2 seconds, folks. J&B coming back into the pits. Just... something ain't right with YouTube. I think I know what it is. I gotta go in and fix it real quick with my handy-dandy materials, so. You guys get to watch B-Tom as I fix this. Yeah, that's why. Okay. Okay, should be fixed now. Let's see. Yep, alright. B-Tom to the line to start another lap. This is interesting. So it looked like he stayed out for multiple laps there. And he's really going to try and finish this lap up with as little fuel as possible. And you can do that with some tracks to where you can put in a certain amount of fuel to go multiple laps, and B-Tom is going to give it a go. And he may just get a better lap than what he put up before. Through the hairpin, and that is one corner that we will be talking about tonight. That hairpin is one that will get you, and we actually have a short that is dedicated to that corner of the track that Capitan just went through about 5 seconds ago. That hairpin in turn 11, it is on the F1's most wanted list because it has a kill list of a lot of TCR drivers, and not sure if this lap is going to be it for B-Tom, as he is 3/10 to the negative of his best lap, and we'll see if he comes back in the pits here. And yes, he does come back in the pits. Some guy about to maybe start a lap. He's got a lot of battery there. I think he's maybe coming back in the pits. I don't know. It says he's got 0 laps on those softs. I find that hard to believe, but anyways. Capitan through the S's, we'll keep an eye out for him. I'm curious as to what some guy does, and some guy comes back in the pits. And he put up a 28.9. That is his best lap so far. About a second off of B-Tom. And whoa, that was an unsafe release there for the Aston Martin. And you know what? I didn't think I would have to play this already, but that, sir, will put you on the most wanted list. Because you cannot be impeding other people as they come out of the pits, Mahmood. Unsafe pit release already with 7 minutes left in qualifying. Congratulations. You are the most wanted TCR driver in Japan, and you will be locked up, throwing the key away. Have fun. Capitan through the Casio triangle, one of 2 drivers yet to put up a lap, and let's see what kind of a lap he puts up in his sporty Alpine. He goes P5 with a 28.9. So the only driver so far not to put in a lap is that guy right there, JNB, and he's had an incident. Look at that left front wing. He has had an issue, and he's going to make that crew of his sweat. With 6 minutes left in qualifying, they're going to have to get the hammer down and get to it to get him back out on track in time to get another lap in. And man, look at that car. Where has he been off to? That car is filthy. My God. Was he playing in that corner that Nicholas Latifi played in that one year? Coming up right here off to the right. This corner. That right there. I bet that's where he went. J&B was just giving us his best Latifi impression. But in the pits he goes. And a lot of drivers on a lap right now. And this is the time to do that because you know, qualifying goes in cycles. You come and you go. You come and you go. It's just one of those things. You keep coming and going. But B-Tom is going to come and start his lap. And you notice what he did right there. He went very far to the left to get some momentum started. Let's see what kind of a lap he puts up. Provisional pole is a 27.9. And we'll see if the McLaren driver can beat it. Beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. No one wants to beat it, beat it. He's got a bit of grass there on the left front tire you saw right there, so probably just nipped the grass with his left front tire, which tends to happen at Japan. There's so many areas where you're coming off a corner exit, and you just get over the curbs a little bit too far, and all it takes is just a little bit of grass, and it could screw up your following corner, because obviously you don't want grass on your tires. It's just like when you're driving in a streetcar, right? If you have grass on your tires on the road, it's, you know, everyone gets messy, people get pissed at you, and that happens in Formula 1 too, because you have grass on your tires. If you have grass on your tires, you're probably going to spin out. You'll create a crash and everyone gets pissed at you. B-Tom, let's see what he does here. I think he backed out and is going to give it yet another go. And we'll see what he can do here. I really want to see. Yeah, B-Tom's had a handful of laps so far out on track. And I did hear from the grapevine that he did not get much practice in ahead of time, so this doesn't surprise me that he's struggling here in qualifying. Oh, might have gone a bit deep there into turn 5. He's going to make his way through turn 8 into turn 9. Bit squirrely there on corner exit. That's one of those corners where you really just got to mash the throttle and just hope it sticks. Through that hairpin we were talking about, and that, personally, I think that hairpin is one of the more difficult braking corners in Formula 1. Because you have such a fast corner, and then you come to such a slow corner. And depending on what lap it is, too, it could get very crowded in that hairpin. So you really got to watch out for that. That's turn 11. But B-Tom making his way through 130R, down into the Casio Triangle. And again, this is one of those corners similar to some of the others where you really have to be aggressive with those curbs. And to the line, B-Tom, 27.6, top of the boards. Only, and I can't believe I'm using the word only, but only half a second up on Jose. So you never know. JMB has yet to put a lap in. He could be the next. And JMB really looking for a good run today. And we'll go over the points real quick. It's B-Tom with 174, JMB with 120. GTR Line with 74, Jose with 65, and Sir Charles with 55 points. So, a bit of a gap at the front, but as you get down to 3rd through 5th, and then through the midfield, there's a lot of close battles that we'll have to keep our eye on. But these two right here, both looking to get pole position, and JMB is giving it everything he's got because this is going to be the only lap he puts on the board, and he gets a little squirrely there with the curbs. This is one area of the track where you don't want to be aggressive with the curbs. I was saying Casio Triangle, you need to be aggressive, and even through these kinks right here, you got to be aggressive, but those S's, you're going at such a high speed, and you're having a lot of rotation with the car to where it's not ideal. You know, you're just asking for trouble. But nonetheless, JMB still on a heater. And we'll see what he can put up. He's going to need a big day. Because with 5 races to go, If B-Tom wins again, then you're talking a potential clinch after Abu Dhabi, which is the next race, by the way. We do have an off week after this week, and then after next week, we'll be back for the following week. And then after that week, we'll be back for the following week, and then the next week, and then the next week, and then the next week. To the line, JMB, second on the board, a 28 flat. That's a good lap, considering that that was his only lap that he put on the board today. Let's see, who's crossing the line next? Jose is about to start his lap. Mahmoud is about to start his lap. I think they'll have enough time to get to the line and start. 7, 6, 5, yeah, he's got it. Deathstroke, though, will not get to the line to start his lap, so he will be starting in P10. In a lot of races, that's not a bad thing, but we got a shorter grid tonight, so, you know, not the best thing in the world, but B-Tom's qualifying is over. Into the 50 goes. Let's see, who's next? Oh boy, some guy. Allowance money could be on the line here, depending on where you qualify, and he gets up into the top 5, which is where I wanted him to be, so he will get his full allowance money today. P5. Oh, well, I have to take that money away, some guy. GTR Lion just eclipsed you. Womp womp. Actually. Sorry, some guy. You're down to P7 now. As Capitan up into P6. Mahmoud down 130R. Jose down 130R. And we'll see where he ends up in that sporty red Ferrari of his to the finish line, giving it everything he's got. And he will not improve. P3 for Jose, Mahmoud to the line, P7 for him, and C-Freeze in the pits. So that will do it. B-Tom on pole position today, looking for win number 6 on the season. And hey, I've said this from the get-go. He has a shot at getting to 50 wins this season, which is crazy because if he were to do this, he would need to win 4 of the last 5 races of the season. And he's won the last 3. So if he were to do this, he would need to get 9 wins on the season out of the 12 races. And I just want to point out, and this is my fault, we've been over this. On the podcast, in the preseason episode, I said that there would be 6 different winners. We only have 2, and we're 2/3 of the way through, and I don't know if that's going to change, but B-Tom on pole, JMB, Jose. So the thing is, who am I going to pick on my podium? Because I have a historically bad record. So at this point, it's basically about who do I not want to win. So we'll get these podium predictions down in just a second, but leave your predictions down in the comment section, whether you're on the YouTube or Twitch side of things. And we'll get this party started. Looks like we're going to have dry weather all the way. So you know what? I think we're going to get ready for a great race, and I am going to give my podium predictions right now. I got to do it. I got to do it. B-Tom, I gotta pick you. You've won the last 3. It's hard to go 4 in a row. We saw it with Christopher Bell in NASCAR this past week. It's hard to go 4 in a row. So I'm betting. Yeah, I'm putting the commentator's curse on you, B-Tom. So I got him winning. We'll go JMB P2. And then we'll go, you know what? I don't know if I've picked Jose on my podium yet this season, so I'm going to go Jose P3. So for you 3, B-Tom, JMB, and Jose, I'm sorry, but you have just been elected to my podium picks. Sorry about your bad luck. So Whatever fate you have, it'll be my fault. But leave your predictions down in the comments. And we'll see. We do have dry weather all the way. So put those umbrellas away and get those bowls of popcorn out. Because this is about to get good. You got to watch out for turn 1. These drivers, we've seen it with Prost and Senna. We've seen it plenty of times where these drivers, they think they've got more room than what they can handle. And they end up sending someone else or themselves through turn 1. And it leads to a big fat mess. So there's a couple of corners too where I think things could get really hairy. Obviously turn 1, but like I said, that hairpin in turn 11, that corner will really get you. It'll take its claws and it'll snatch you up like a lobster. Like a lobster before it gets cooked. But put the lobsters away, get the popcorn out, get the drinks out, because we are about to start with round 8, the Japanese Grand Prix. Can these drivers get through turn 1 without any incident? 5 red lights on the grid, and go, go, go! Off the line, B-Tom gets a good start ahead of J&B. I think he's going to clear him here before turn 1, and he does. J&B on his tail. They're side by side for third, and Lion is going to get that position. And they're single file through as they head up through the S's. We've had no incidents on track. Teammates, 7th and 8th. Seafreeze had a heck of a start. He's up a couple of spots. And look at this train here as they make their way up through the S's. B-Tom in the lead, J&B right on him. B-Tom's teammate GTR Lion made his way up into third, but we got to take a look at the hairpin here. What is going to happen? Are they all going to make it through alive? Tire smoke, obviously, from the hard braking, and I think we made it through alive. Question is, though, how patient will these guys be on the batteries? We take a look at our possible race strategies. Thank you, cameraman. And J&B is breathing all over B-Tom right here. That's pretty rude of him. He might want to make a move. He does have some space on GTR Lion. And B-Tom has used a lot of his battery here on this first lap. One of the guys who saves battery the most using it on the first lap. J&B taking a peek. They make contact there. And J&B muscles his way to the lead. Wow. Lap 1, getting the elbows out, and we have a battle here for the podium spots. Oh, we got a two-way happening at the front. B-Tom back in the lead, but J&B hits him. To the inside he goes. This is good stuff. Will they make it out alive, though? He's pushing it. Oh, my goodness. B-Tom in the wall. Oh, that was disaster. And he's got a broken wing after contact with J&B. Both of these guys were not going to give it up. And that just changed the whole landscape of this race right there. As we look at our possible race strategies again. Wow, B-Tom. And this is the biggest challenge we've seen from him this season. He's had a couple of pretty minor challenges when it comes to strategy, but this is going to be the biggest one that he's had yet. I was really tempted to give him the 5 big booms, but I don't know. I kind of feel bad about that because I have a feeling that might end up in the stewards afterwards. So, but what this does, though, is this puts J&B up in the lead, but we're going to see where he ends up afterwards. If penalties come into play, that might have just been hard racing, but I don't know. And I'm really surprised from B-Tom as well, because the amount of times that B-Tom's been battling for the lead in the past and nothing's happened, I'm really shocked that he was pushing it as hard as he was this early on. But we take a look at our positions gained and lost off the start. Seafreeze, a heck of a start, up 3 spots. GTR Lion up 2 spots, but the biggest loser, when we see it right here in the pits, is B-Tom. Started on pole, contact with his championship rival, and down into 10th place. And if we don't get a safety car, this is going to be a long race. I don't think he's going to finish in 10th. I would be shocked, actually, if he finishes in 10th, but I don't think this is going to be a win for B-Tom today. You know what? I pick to win? Who did I pick to win this race? I literally said, sorry, B-Tom, because I just picked you for the win, and we all know what happens when I do that. That's unbelievable. And he is 31 seconds behind Deathstroke. Wow. Keep in mind, though, I do want to take a look at this strategy here with the top 6, because Just Jose could be looking for his first win of the season, because he's got the reverse strategy going for him. And the only reverse that we like on racetracks is when it comes to the strategy game. He's got it in his favor. He's going to have to get around that guy, though, and I'm really curious. I really want to hear an interview from either JMB or B-Tom, or both, to get their take on that incident, because that was something. As we have another side-by-side battle. Whoa, Mahmood just drifted his way in front of Seafreeze there for the 7th spot, or excuse me, some guy. He's got Seafreeze in his peripheral vision now. Yeah, some guy was just like, whoa, is that Ken Block in front of me? Mahmood drifting his way up into P7. Oh, off in the grass, some guy. What have I taught you about being in the grass? The only time that you're supposed to be in the grass is when you're cutting my grass. Seafreeze, number 5, looking for position 5, as he is still within DRS range of Capitan. And Capitan, he's had a good couple of races in his return to TCR. He got a top 5 last week. Looking for another one here today. And this is what we expect from Capitan at this point, you know? He was gone for a while, but he's back on the grid, and he definitely is not rusty. He's definitely been putting in laps ever since he left the league and then came back. Take a look at B-Tom. He has gained 5 seconds on Deathstroke, so like I said, I don't think that he's going to end up in P10, but you never know. As Jose, on those hard tires, putting up fastest lap already. Interesting. And we'll see how this reverse strategy is going to work. I'm really surprised that more people didn't think of this. Oh, is this a helicopter? No, that's not high enough. That's like a remote helicopter shot. A remote control helicopter shot, you know, because those things can't fly very high. And we can't really put a cameraman on one of them either. I tried doing that one time, and it ended in a lawsuit, but... B-Tom, 31.1. I imagine he might be driving a little bit ticked off. I don't know what's going on underneath the helmet, but if I were in his scenario, I wouldn't be pleased. And sometimes that's just the best thing for you, sometimes, is to drive angry. Drive pissed off, and he's putting in heaters right now, so we'll see. Hey, can he get the TCR race lap record? The race lap record is a 28.6, so I don't think that's going to happen today, but you never know. Oh, he might have, hold on. Yeah, so B-Tom did start on hards, yeah. So, but even then, I am surprised we didn't see more people try it. Sir Charles up into the podium, and go figure, the one week I don't pick him for a podium, this might be the week where he does it. And we got a train here for the first several spots. From first through about... Honestly, I think it's the entire top 8. They're all together in a big train, like one big happy family. All aboard the J&B train. Oh, that's probably a warning right there. Some guy is the caboose of this train right now, trying to make something happen on Mahmood and his teammate Seafreeze. These three having a three-way. And then ahead of them, Capitan kind of on his own little island. going solo. And then a little bit up the road, we have a four-way between Lion, Charles, Jose, and J&B. 4 people, that's a lot, man. That's a lot of people. And Jose, I gotta touch up on this. He has killed the battery a lot. If this were his phone, he would need to charge it. And that might be part of the reason why he's really sticking up to J&B on the slower hard tires, but I have a feeling in a couple of laps, those hard tires are going to get into their own and get into their prime, like a nice smooth yellow banana. You know, we don't like the green ones, we don't like the brown ones, we like the yellow ones. And I think Jose is about to become a big yellow banana. Lion, though, you know, Lion right now, he's looking like, you know, starting to turn a little brown because his, look at that delta. He's over a second behind, and this could get ugly if he loses DRS. You know, if he were a banana, he would be turning brown right now. Although he's doing what he can here to stay within DRS range. Although I don't know if that's going to happen. He has lost a little bit here to Charles, so it could be a three-way at the front with Lion and Capitan. Well, in this scenario, you know, you would think to say you're going to feed Capitan to the Lions, but I think it's the other way around in this scenario. As we check back in with the leaders on lap 7. J&B, P1. And like I said, I think we're going to get to a point here where Jose is going to take the lead, and it could happen right here possibly. To the outside goes Jose on J&B. None of them lifting. J&B is going to slide it a little bit. And Jose to P1. Now the question is, can Jose pull away and put himself in position to take home the Japanese Grand Prix? And this could have big points implications, as he is 4th in points with 65. And Lion is in 3rd with 74. So this, if Jose were to win, this would basically put the two of them in a tie for 3rd in points. As we take a look at our first helicopter shot of the evening. Oh, that was short-lived. My God. Okay. Helicopter man said, no thank you, I'm jumping off of this real quickly. You know, as much as I was hyping up the hairpin, we have had little to nothing happen in the hairpin so far. But of course, I say that now, and we'll probably have a 5-car pileup there next lap. But V-Tom looking to get a spot here very shortly. He has caught up to Deathstroke, and I think he'll be there in just a second, based on just the amount of time he's made up in the last few laps. And I think Mahmoud could be making a move here on these next couple of drivers, because the hards are starting to come into their own. It's a lot better to be hard right now. As for the lead, these two playing leapfrog. J&B back into P1. Seafreeze, man, Seafreeze has had a good race so far. He's made up quite a handful of spots already, and he's looking for some more. Oh, that was almost the commentator's curse of the season. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I gotta do. Do I gotta go make some sort of ritual? Because this is starting to get a little ridiculous. And oh, off the road and around goes Capitan. And he is not in a great spot right now, has to back it up, and that will hurt his race. Well, you know, I guess that wasn't so bad for Freeze after all. He ended up getting a spot after that. How about this, okay? Oh, battle for P9, and there goes V-Tom. I bet you that Seafreeze will not crash out, because he's not washed. I hate to use you as my guinea pig, Seafreeze. I'm just very curious as to what's going to happen with those comments now that I said that. But Ooh, Lion, I don't think he had the best corner there, as P2, okay, interesting. So, Jose's losing spots. He's down into P3. You would think he would be getting harder with the hard tires. Mahmoud up into P5. See, he's gaining spots, and that's how it should be. The hards should start to come into their own, as we have a caution. I think some guy just had an issue, and some guy, hate to do this to you, but you had a tiny slip up, and we really don't care about that, so this is from Silent. Sorry about your very, very minor mistakes, some guy. Honestly, I'm trying to get that sound effect out of the way. If you were in the TCR Discord earlier, you would know that we had a picture in the chat literally get 5 big boos. So I had to get that in at some point tonight, but I'm sure there'll be another moment at some point down the road where we can do that. It could be right here if things don't work out. Jose gets ahead of Sir Charles in 130R. And back up into P2 he goes. And like I said, I'm really curious. I'm going to have to ask him, Jose, if he does get in the interview, what he thought of those hard tires at this point in the race. Because I would have thought he would have been in a better spot, but you never know. And like I said, speaking of hard tire, Mr. Mahmoud, not invisible this week compared to last week. He goes up into P4. And that's a pretty good progression from where he started, along with Seafreeze, gaining 3 spots. And GTR line kind of, oh no, Mahmoud! There he goes, in the wall! Yeah. About 5 seconds after I said that he gained 3 spots off the line. I gotta tell you, and I kind of play this bit. You know, there's been certain races where my commentator's curse has been bad, but this is one of the worst. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is, and I've done a lot of commentary in TCR. I've probably done around 100 races at this point in the booth, and this is one of the worst. So I don't know what I got to do after this race, but I might want to go and, like, I don't know, take a shower or go and, like, you know, do some sort of meditation or something, because I feel like I've got a lot of bad juju tonight, as Jose, J&B, battling for P1. I think Jose is going to do the same trick he pulled last time, to the outside, into the lead, but we do have a report from the pits. That is Sir Charles already in the pits. So, and I think this could be a little bit early, but you never know. Behind him, we got Capitan in the pits, and Mahmoud, unfortunately. That was looking really good for Mahmoud. He was going to get maybe a top 5 finish, but oh, and Deathstroke. Deathstroke, Deathstroke, Deathstroke. You, sir, can't be doing that. We're going to lock you up and throw away the key, and he is making sure that he does not speed in the pits. Yeah, you don't want to speed in the pits after getting a time penalty. The police will handcuff you, throw you to the ground, and they'll make sure they get all the mugshots they can for us to laugh at. Not laughing at your face, laughing at the fact that you know, you get the point. J&B. And now the question is, when is he going to pit? Because we've had a handful of drivers already come in the pits, and Jose's coming in the pits. Whoa! J&B on the brakes hard. He gets into the pit lane without speeding on pit road. And I'm really curious. Yeah, I'm going to have to ask Jose about those hard tires, because he is pitting quite early. And to the lead. Welcome back to first place, Seafreeze. Back in the lead. Coming out of the pits, we'll take a look here. Jose, 6/10 ahead of J&B. And you know, this might actually be very smart. Because we knew that, you know, Jose was on the reverse strategy. He might have pit later than J&B, but to pit at the exact same time as him, if these mediums can go long, then this could be good. And Jose starting to pull away a little bit here. 9/10 ahead of J&B. You see J&B using a bit of battery there. I think he might fall out of DRS range here, as here comes Seafreeze into the pits, which leaves some guy out in the lead. So Seafreeze gets his lap led. And we'll see where he comes out. He could come out in P5. I think it might be P6 here. He's going to come out in front of GTR Lion, so the overcut working in Seafreeze's favor. And we get a front wing shot from GTR Lion. And he has saved up a lot of his battery, and this is something that Lion typically does. And we'll see if he can get this move done on Seafreeze sooner than later. That was a pretty good corner out of the hairpin for Lion, and we'll see if he can get by Seafreeze for that spot. The last driver to come in and pit will be some guy whenever he does so. And we'll see if he does it this lap. He is coming into the pits this lap. Oh, and he speeds in the pit lane. Oh, some guy. You know, I gotta do it again, because I did it before. And it wasn't really a big moment, but I got to do it now because that's just not good.
We're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Boom! 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 Boom!
And that, I've been waiting for a good moment to do that. Lion still behind. Oh, B-Tom in the pits. We have a caution for Capitan once again. Capitan, I hate to do this to you. Only your third race back, but you can't be spinning out multiple times in the race. It's the award that nobody wants to get. And we'll wait here for YouTube to get their pennies. Capitan, you get the Fidget Spinner of the Race award. Because you, sir, have not been keeping it on the track. And I think Lion made an overtake on Seafreeze for that spot. So Lion up into P4, Deathstroke speeding in the pit lane, adding his name to the naughty list, and yeah, that's what I thought. At the front, J&B has not lost Jose. But here's the thing though, I'm really curious, the fact that Jose got off of those hards so quickly, it makes me question how good are these hard tires going to be, as we're going to go side by side through the first corner right here, and Jose keeps the spot. And really, I haven't mentioned Sir Charles that much today, but he is up in P3, kind of having a quiet race, which I think is something that he's needed. I'm sure that Sir Charles really would have liked to have been on the podium at some point this season, but looking for his first podium in season 19, 55 points, so this could be a big day because he is in a tight battle with Silent for that spot, and as you can tell on the screen, Silent is not here tonight, so he will automatically gain points from Silent and add some with 15, putting him at 70 points because fastest lap right now is a 30.3 by Mr. J&B, so speaking of, for the lead, and this should be a pretty easy overtake. He's got the spot. Now the question is, will these hard tires really come into their own here? I think if they do, I don't know if they are going to, because side by side, B-Tom, another spot. I don't know if these hard tires are going to come into their own because we saw earlier, Jose wanted to get off of them right away. You know, it's like being in a volcano, you know, like there's some spots in the volcano that aren't filled with lava. And if you're standing in lava, you really want to hop out of it as quickly as you can. And the hard tires might be the lava that these drivers do not want to stand in tonight. As B-Tom just put up fastest lap. And really, I'm just looking at the leaderboard. He's got about 14 seconds to some guy, and some guy's got a penalty. He's got 10 seconds, so yeah, okay. So, ideally, I think he could get P6. Unless if we get a safety car. But B-Tom, and this is what I was saying though, you know, I said this before the Imola Grand Prix, that J&B really was not in a must-win situation, and I think he treated it like it. But we see it today. B-Tom is going to, as of now, lose a lot of points to J&B. Because let's say B-Tom does finish in P6, which is where I think he might end up, just based off of his pace and the times he's put up. He's going to get 8 points, and J&B is going to get 25. So, 4th place, Seafreeze. Could we get a Seafreeze podium tonight? That would be awesome. And what that would do is that would put Seafreeze closer to getting back the podium record that he once had not long ago. Because it was Seafreeze who had the podium record with 83 until B-Tom broke that record this season. So let's just say Seafreeze gets on the podium and B-Tom doesn't. You're looking at 87 podiums for B-Tom and 84 for Seafreeze. So it would, you know, get things a little bit closer once again between those two. I wouldn't call them rivals. I'll call them hot shots. And this looks to be the battle for the win only on lap 18, so things could change depending on what happens. But it looks like we're going to see another leapfrog between these two drivers. As well, you know what? Jose might, yeah, Jose is keeping his battery in play. He has not touched his phone. He does not need to charge it. He has roughly 100% on the battery. Yeah, and look, I would love to see a Seafreeze podium, but I'm not sure it's going to happen as of now because he's got a country mile to go to get up to Sir Charles, unless if Charles makes a mistake, and I don't want to say that. Because Charles has had a lot of bad luck this season, and I think he might be getting some of it out of the way today because I didn't pick him on the podium. And of course, I picked B-Tom for the win, and he had his worst race of the season. But P4 switching hands once again. Speaking of Seafreeze, well, he might get a switchback here. Lion locked up going into the hairpin, but nonetheless, he will keep the spot. Good battling here between those two for that position, and I just want to look at the points because Seafreeze, making his second start on the season, he has a whopping 2 points because of that. Seafreeze could make his way up into 14th. So Seafreeze could gain 6 spots here. And say he does get back by Lion, he could go up to, how much? 16 points, right? No, 14 points. And that would still put him in 14th in the standings. So. But it looks like he's going to give it a go here. And some guys in the pits. Why? Why? What's... I'm taking this out of your allowance, some guy. I don't know what the reason for this is. Okay. I know he has the penalty. Did he not think he was going to get any of those spots? Because he served a big penalty. He's really far behind B-Tom and Mahmood. I don't know about that one. I don't know if that's something he can make up because, I mean, yeah, he's probably going to get fastest lap, but those softs are not going to be fantastic at the end. So, oh, and yeah, that's not going to help your cause. I don't know about that move. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of it as we're side by side through the Casio triangle. Contact there, and J&B once again muscling his way into P1. But Jose going to get back at him right here. They're side by side, and he's got the spot back. So that could be one of those things, because we don't really see this at other tracks to where you have a corner like the Casio Triangle is, and normally, if you get by someone on the front straightaway, it's a good thing, but the way that this front straightaway is set up, you don't want to be the first one to do that because, you know, it's easy to get back by them in turn 1. So, it's one of those games you have to play with the DRS. Oh, J&B right on him in the hairpin. J&B has been getting his elbows out today. Doing what he's got to do. And this will be a good day for him because I do want... I was saying something before I got distracted, so... B-Tom, as of right now, is going to get 6 points. J&B is going to get 18, so that's a 12-point gap. And we'll see where fastest lap ends up. But if you have a 5-point gap there, you're looking at 42 points, which it's not over. All we need is another race after this one, like today. Oh, J&B giving the bumper to Jose. And this championship battle could be back on. As for the lead once again, but that's the thing though, the start-finish line is so far back on this front stretch to where it's hard to know what to do, you know? And that's why we've had so many last lap battles in the Casio Triangle, because you really want to get out of there in the lead on the final lap. Unlike every other lap where you want to be behind them coming out of the Casio Triangle. Another driver, and I think Charles is in a good spot to get his first podium of the season, but another driver who has surprisingly not gotten a podium yet this season is GTR Lion. He did get one on track earlier in the season, as there's the fastest lap. Some guy with a 30.1, still a second and a half off of the race record, but Lion did get a podium on track earlier this season. He had it taken away, swiped away from him, and still looking for that first podium of the season. I did not have that on my Season 19 bingo card, I'll be honest with you. did not have that one on my bingo card. I thought he would have won a race by now, but I think B-Tom has done a great job this season. J&B came back, I think, a lot stronger than anyone would have thought just because he was away for so long. But Jose going to give him a run for his money here. J&B looking for win number 9 if he gets it, and that would tie yours truly for 13th, I believe, all time. And he will also tie Sir Charles for 13th all time. And if he gets another win after today, he will tie Lion for 10th all time. And his former teammate, Remsley, for that spot. But I think Jose has something up his sleeve to prevent J&B from getting that done, because he has saved a lot of his battery. Keeping that phone on the charger. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. Just settle down. As a race car driver, it's so easy to want to make the move, but there was just... J&B shut every door in existence there. And I gotta say, though, J&B's been saving the battery, too, so this might not be as easy as it may seem for Jose. And this is a classic shootout between these two drivers. Jose looking to enter the top 3 in points. J&B looking to stay in championship contention. And we'll see who comes out on top. But as of now, J&B, he's put together a good race, but I'm not sure if he's going to get the win. Even if he finishes first on track, because I'd imagine that the incident with he and B-Tom, it might get submitted, but you never know. It looked like hard racing, but at the end of the day, it really is black or white. You know, J&B, man. Almost threw away all the points he was getting on B-Tom today, as Jose is going to try it here. J&B going to back out. But he's going to do a switchback here, but he's going to tuck back in line. And he'll be in a good spot. See, this is what I'm talking about. Because the race finishes right here, right? You got to be ahead of the other person coming out of the Casio triangle, which is unlike what the previous laps are, because you want to be ahead going into turn 1. By the time you reach the first corner, you want to be out in front. So it's really going to be a matter of who can get out in front in the Casio triangle, and really it goes back to 130R, because you have to set yourself up to where, say that you're in front on 130R and you get slingshotted, then that could be it. So lots of different strategies. Ooh, oh, and some guy gets a penalty. Insult to injury. I thought that strategy maybe would have gotten him another spot back up to P8, but don't think that's going to happen. But some guy, he is going to... Well, actually, no, he's not going to gain any spots and points today. For the lead, down 130R. Once again, same thing we saw last lap, and this is what I'm talking about. Because Jose is in the lead, going into the Casio triangle. And that might be the key, though, but here comes J&B. 2 laps to go. And I really don't think that tires played any part of a difference today. Take a look at Jose. 13 lap medium tires and he's fine. He's not having any issues staying there with J&B. And this could be a classic shootout here to finish this race off. Take a look at the battery, 100% for Jose. He's not using any of it. J&B, 100% not using any of it. And in the pits, some guy, please don't retire, dude. Just make it to the end of the race. And we do have a battle for P6, and this is what I thought would happen. I thought that B-Tom would have had a shot at P6, and he might be getting it today. Which, nonetheless, not the result he's looking for, obviously, but decent result considering the circumstances. But here we go, final lap. It's going to be another one of those classic Japan finishes. Oh, Jose got loose there. That could be big as J&B crosses the line to start his final lap. 6/10 ahead of just Jose for that spot. And now it's about not making mistakes. I think Jose had to use some of the battery to cover up that mistake he made. J&B has a little bit more. He is blinking on the fuel gauge. So keep that in mind. As I think we're going to have a battle for P6 as well. Mahmoud's going to try, but I don't know. He's going to be able to hold off B-Tom. He's got the straight line speed. Is he going to get him here? He does. B-Tom up into P6 while his championship rival J&B looking for his third win of the season. He's got Jose hot on his tail. P4 heating up, Seafreeze and Lion, battles everywhere. As we close off the Japanese Grand Prix, what can Jose do? I think he's going to need to get a good exit right here. I don't think he did a great job with the curbs, but we'll see what he does. J&B on the battery. Jose's got the slipstream. He's trying. What's going to happen here? Oh, he hits him to the outside. Back to the inside. Switchback. Oh, he pushes J&B off the road. J&B back in the lead. And J&B is going to win the Japanese Grand Prix Round 8. Great battle between those two. Sir Charles, welcome back to the TCR podium. First podium of Season 19. Good stuff from the Mercedes. And Seafreeze, welcome back to the grid for you. P4. Oh, and I think, what's happening back here? I think Lion was out of gas. And that means Seafreeze P4, Lion P5, B-Tom almost got P5, he'll finish P6, Mahmoud P7, and Capitan and some guy will round it out. What an exciting race. Lots of questions for J&B. Big win for him if this will stand, although he did go off the road in Casio Triangle. I think he got pushed off, and I think he's lucky, honestly, that the game didn't give him a penalty. But we'll see, as some guy adding his name to the naughty list once again. And let's see what he does. Doing the burnouts. Oh, he's going to finish the race in reverse. Ricky Bobby style. Good stuff right there. J&B with the win. 25 points compared to B-Tom's 8, which is a 17-point swing. That means it has gone down to a 37-point gap. See? It's never over till it's over, and Superman comes in with his cape, showing everyone that he's the man of the day. third win of the season, a good rebound from last week, but I gotta ask. I've got questions. I've got a lot of questions. And some guy did get the fastest lap, not by much. So that 1 point could... Oh, man, I didn't even see B-Tom. I was looking at J&B. Man, B-Tom just missed out on fastest lap. And that 1 point could be huge in the end. And we will get the podium in for an interview. Already some chatter in the Discord. I'm curious. I'm really curious to see what this podium interview is going to be like. As we will get these guys in right now. There is some chatter. I said there's chatter specifically between Jose and J&B in the chat, so we'll get to see what they say in just a second. And they have been tagged, and we will talk to them in just a second. And the first driver we will talk to is that Mercedes right there. No longer driven by number 44. As we got two of them. And we'll get this started right away because we have our third place driver here tonight. First of all, Charles, I haven't talked to you in a bit. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, it was nice to finally have a nice, relaxing race. I mean, since here all I needed to have happen was B-Tom crash, Silent not show up, Remsley not show up. Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. But, yeah, I've been finding every way to lose him this season, so I'm not going to complain at all.
Yeah, I mean, your luck so far this season has not been good. I think part of it, too, has been the fact that I've picked you on my podium just about every week of the season, so that's probably where some of that bad luck is coming from. But I didn't pick you on the podium today, so that's probably why you're on the podium.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I figured, you know, I've picked you enough. You haven't gotten on the podium yet. I'll give it a week off, but... Yeah, you know, you had a pretty quiet race. Did you get a good view as to what happened between J&B and B-Tom on that second lap?
Not really. I mean, I'll have to look at the replay. I mean, to me, it almost looked like just dodgy Codemasters collision physics because it seems like they barely touched and B-Tom kind of went flying off the track, which I've been on the receiving end of those. It's frustrating, but I mean, obviously I'll have to see the replay to really know for sure, but that's kind of what it looked like from my view, at least initially. Like I said, I haven't watched it back or anything, so.
Yeah. Usually I've got questions up my sleeves for, I've got questions for these next two, but I would say we do have an off week coming up. So after the off week, we got Abu Dhabi, so what's your thoughts on that? Are we thinking that we're going to be able to talk to you again in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I mean, I think Abu Dhabi is one of my better tracks in this game, I feel like. So I feel like, you know, hopefully I'll have it more pace-wise. Like I said, I mean, I was not particularly confident going into this race. I kind of surprised myself. Like I said, you know, hopefully I'll be a little bit actually closer to Jose and J&B on actual pace, kind of like I was at Britain. But, yeah, I think it's a pretty good track for me. Yeah, and then, you know, Saudi, I'm just hoping to not get last. Just finish the race, actually. Take that back. But, yeah.
That's how I felt about that track when I raced it. It might be my worst track on the calendar.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that one, but That's future Charlie's problem.
All right. Well, congrats on the podium, and yeah, man, we gotta talk to you more before the season's over.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. P2. I got a lot of questions for you, Jose, and the first one is the obvious one. What did you think of the last corner battle between you and J&B?
I don't know if I wanna go right into that last corner. First of all, I want to say props to J&B for amazing battles of the whole race. Yeah, I think it was more mind games than anything at that point, because reverse 30 airs, I call it, is a bitch, so you don't get anything but trains. So yeah, it was just managing battery, which didn't take much, honestly, and trying to pull something to make J&B make a mistake. That was the whole race. But yeah, to answer your question, I kind of didn't like what happened in the last corner. I need to go back and check it on my stream. Yeah, what I felt at the moment was that I was entitled to space on the outside since he moved on the inside, and I believe you need to leave a car's width on the outside if a car might make lunge, as I was gonna, and that forced me to go to the inside just to not crash at that point. And yeah, after that we made contact, I think, but I made a corner, and yeah, it's just one last battle before the end. I wish I could have gotten it, but at the same time, I think I should have gotten the place on the last, like, the DRS straight, the beginning of lap 27, because I had a massive oversteer moment, which I shouldn't have. So that one is on me, but I believe the other one is on J&B, so I can't say more than that.
And we were seeing the last, I would say, 10 laps or so, you guys were leapfrogging constantly. You know, one lap you're in front, one lap, the next lap he's in front. Were you thinking before that final lap, were you really contemplating what you were going to do on that final lap? Because I feel like there's just so many ways to screw that up to where, you could be in the wrong spot and J&B gets by you and then you're not able to win.
Hey, I had it all planned since we came out of the pits and I didn't manage to pull ahead. So I think the gap with the DRS was like 0.98. I was really close to breaking DRS on that first lap. But since I didn't, from that end, it was only, okay, last lap I'm going to need to have to pass him on the straight. So yeah, I passed him, I think, lap 25. Then lap 26, I fake it, having a bad exit, so he passed me. So that coming into lap 27, I could try and overtake on the straight, and I couldn't. Like I told you, I had the oversteer moment. From then onwards, it was like, okay, I've been getting amazing exits out of what's it called, Spoon?
Yeah.
The left-hander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's my best corner here. So I've been getting a good exit. So if I burn the battery and just from 100 to 0, I can get him still. And I think I had enough pace. I ended up bump drafting him because I didn't think he would go to the inside right after 30R. But yeah, it was all planned beforehand. I'm not saying I'm a mastermind, but it doesn't take much from this game to just having to go 10 laps in the future, because nothing ever happens.
Right. And then I was really thrown off when you came in the pits at like lap 12 with the hard tires. How bad were the hard tires? Because it just seemed like there was really no point in emphasizing them, because it seemed very 50-50 to where the mediums were just as good.
Hey, I don't know if you remember my last 3 or 2 interviews. I've said, I think in every one, hards and mediums are the same tire. They're just painted differently. Maybe they have a different coating because lap 1 might be different. But after that, they're the same tire. So it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you manage. It doesn't matter if you push. It doesn't matter if you cook them. It doesn't matter if you underheat them. They're going to have the exact same pace and last the exact same time, which is forever because they don't blow ever. And yeah, pitting lap 13, 14, I don't know. I was scheduled to come lap 15, I think, and I said, "Hey, I'm not gonna pass this guy if I'm on, like, if I let him get away from 2 laps." So yeah, just pit now, and like I told you, the tires are gonna last. I have literally 0 doubts about that. Maybe try and break DRS with the softer tire, as I said, which is faster for 1 lap only, and I couldn't. So yeah.
Yeah, and I do remember you saying that. I think last week you said it. It's more of the fact that you are the only one, I think, that's caught on to this, because no one else really followed your strategy. Like, yeah, there were people that pitted around 50% of the way through, but you pitted at least 2 laps before anyone else on your strategy. So I just think people got to start listening to the interviews more, and maybe they'll start catching on.
Maybe they're role playing the strategy part of the game, which I think we could make an argument for is funnier than actually driving. Yeah, I guess people should take that into consideration. I always start on hards and finish on mediums. I think ever since F1 2019, strategy has just been a cosmetic on the game.
I haven't thought of it like that. Huh.
Hey, it's always the same strat, man.
Interesting. Well, Jose, you had 3 third-place finishes before today, and you go 1 step further with a second. So that's a good run for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe in 4 more races I'll get P1.
Maybe next race.
I don't know.
All right. Now P1, the man of the hour, JMB, back on the top step of the podium, but it wasn't without ruffling some feathers. And the first thing I got to talk about is the BTOM incident. What did you see from your point of view?
I mean, wow. Me and BTOM, we were battling very hard up until like lap 2 or 3 it was. We had the incident. So going through the S's, me and him, we were going side by side. Not always the best idea to go through there, but it could work. And then I guess that BTOM just, I don't know. Because it felt like I was, wow. I mean, I don't know. I think it was just a racing incident between us two. I felt like I had enough space. I had my line entitled. And I guess, I don't know if BTOM made a small mistake because the curbs at the S's are not friendly. They are terrible. They are the worst curbs out there.
I agree. I agree.
For real.
You do not know how much practice runs I did and mess up so much times on those curbs.
I believe it. I've been there, done that. Okay.
Yeah, that's just, yeah. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah. And really, that's what it looked like from my point of view, but in a majority of incidents, there's someone at fault. Just because of the way that someone's line was or whoever turned into the corner. So we'll see. We'll see if it gets submitted. But then, it's not over yet. You and Jose made contact coming through the Casio Triangle. So what was your point of view of that little skirmish?
Man, I don't know. I was just trying to manage fuel. I was not going as fast because I don't want to run out of fuel before the end of the race. And I guess I just did not know he was going to go for the gap towards the outside. And I guess, yeah, that just happened. But it was some really good battling with him. Very good battles with him.
Yeah. I agree. Watching those last 10 laps, it was phenomenal. Good, hard racing. Really, the whole race, I mean, you got to be sweating because the hard racing that you were in throughout the day. I do want to touch back on the BTOM thing real quick, just because you mentioned how both of you were racing super hard, going side by side into the S's. I'm just, and I'm not saying that you're any more aggressive than BTOM necessarily, but I was really surprised to see that from BTOM, just because he's been in so many battles for the lead in this league, and it's 99% of the time it's been okay, because most of the time he's patient. And I don't know if it's the fact that it's getting late in the season and you two are going for a championship, but I almost feel like, I don't know if you disagree, it might have been a little too hard of racing that early on. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, it was pretty hard racing. Like, he was not backing down. If he's not backing down, I'm not backing down against a side-by-side through the S's, which was one of the most, again, the curves are not the best. So it was very risky. Going towards the outside of the S's, you're fine, but going towards the inside, that's the most riskiest thing right there. Because the curbs are atrocious. Worst curbs in the game. Like, if you touch a little bit of it, your car is going into the barriers. Or if you're lucky and manage to save the car.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, trust me, I agree. I've been there, done that. So what I do gotta say, and I have to point this out before we stop the broadcast, JMB, you, me, and Charles now have the same amount of wins in TCR. So I think that's pretty cool. I just wanted to touch that up. This is your 9th career win in TCR.
Can we get 5 big booms?
I might have to.
I'm probably not winning anytime soon.
You never know. I really believe in a balance of luck, Charles. So you never know. You could get one at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, if these two assholes would have taken each other out, that would have been nice.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh, that would have been cool. And we would have gotten Seafreeze on the podium. Oh, that would have been... We would have had Charles, Seafreeze, and Lion on the podium. That would have been cool. Man, you guys should have taken each other out.
Yeah, I'll make sure to do that next race.
Well, you're going to have to wait 2 weeks because in 2 weeks' time, we will be in Abu Dhabi for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. There's only 4 races left. And... What's that?
Wow, 4 races already left?
I know.
But like the season's fast. It went super fast already.
Yeah, I think part of it too is the fact that we did shorten the season by a couple races. So I think that's part of it, but I don't know. Even then, we're about to go into our 2nd off week and it feels like we've just zoomed through the season. So, but we do have 4 races left. We got Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, Portugal, and Australia. So those 4 races will wrap it up. Constructors starting to look a little out of reach, but the Drivers' Championship definitely still in play. So we will touch up on that in 2 weeks' time in Abu Dhabi. Until then, have a good night.